We're here with Ron Washington. Ron, 2022 Hall of Fame inductee, Bud Fowler and Buck O'Neil. Your thoughts on that?
Well deserved.
Little
I
Ray?
don't know much about Bud Fowler. I do know he had something to do with finding out a team or something like that. But personally, I don't know much about him. And what was the other guy?
Buck O'Neil.
Oh, Buck O'Neil. Well, I think we all know what Buck O'Neil meant to the game of baseball and what he meant to the blacks in the game of baseball and what he meant to anybody in the game of baseball. His love for the game of baseball, I think, was contagious throughout the game of baseball, and what he meant to the community in Kansas City was contagious also.
Did you ever meet him? Did you ever come across him?
Well, when I came up with the Kansas City Royals organization, and when I used to go through Kansas City as a player, he was always out there around the cage, so I got a chance to talk with him a little bit. But his reputation precedes him.
Ron, last year must have been a little bittersweet because I'm sure that you were pulling personally for Dusty to get into the Hall of Fame, but you had to take him out.
Well, I do think Dusty's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And of course, when you're competing, friendship don't come into play. It's competition. And I'm just happy of all the years that I spent in the game that I was able to get a World Series. But Dusty still has an opportunity at a World Series because that Houston team seemed like they're ready to come back again and prove that they should have won it in 22,
right.
But the Atlanta Braves did.
Now, when do you start looking at the scoreboard? Because it's August right now. When do you start stepping on the gas and look at the scoreboard and say, hey man, we gotta,
Well, baseball isn't a game that you can turn off and on. I think you have to step on the gas from day one, and you got to keep your foot on the pedal. There will be things that happen in the game you have no control of, but you can't just all of a sudden think you have to step on the gas. But starting August the 1st is dog days. This is when the separation starts.
Right.
And, I think everybody in the game knows that. But you have to play each game for what it is that day and keep moving forward in that manner and hope that when the season ends, you put yourself in position to be in the playoffs. And if you're in the playoffs, you certainly have an opportunity to win a World Series. But I don't think you can just put your foot on the gas. The foot got to be on the gas from opening day because you got to win as many ball games as you possibly can.
Ron, one of the things that's always amazed me and always amazes everybody in baseball is how you're able to keep these guys motivated, pump up 162 games. And these kids, obviously, they're not in our generation, but how do you keep them, up for the game every day?
Developing work ethic. You have to have a routine, and you have to be consistent with your routine. For them to be consistent with their routine, you have to be consistent with your routine. And once they recognize that your routine is consistent on a daily basis, rain, hail, sleet, or snow, then, you can, if you get one, you get two. If you get two, you get three. If you get three, you get four. It's just a consistency in the work ethic. It's attitude, it's commitment, it's
and
effort.
Trust also. They got to believe in you.
When you got attitude, commitment, and effort, trust is already involved in that.
Hey, man, listen, man. Every time we're Atlanta Braves, I say, you know what, these guys, they're going to be in first place. They're gonna find a way how to get there because they got my man Ron Washington there.
Well, I appreciate that, but the New York Mets team over there, they're not the New York Mets of 4 years ago.
That's right.
But
you'll find a way how to get on.
Oh, yeah, they got a tremendous leader over there, and they seem to be following his lead. It's not going to be easy to win the East. It's never been easy to win the East, and this year is no different. But we just have to go out there and play good baseball. And if we play good baseball, at the end, we'll be where we're supposed to be.
Is this the fun part about when coming from second to beat them?
Well, I tell you what, in any sport, you want to be the hunted. You don't want to be the hunter. Right now, we're the hunter. The past few years, we were the hunted.
Right.
So it's not fun being the hunter. But if that's the position you're in, you can find out what you're made of, and that's what the game of baseball is. It tries your character.
Lastly, Ron, why is it that there are some players that are able to perform in some cities, and then in other cities they get short end of the stick, as they say?
Well, I do believe that they don't trust their abilities. There's no reason to play any different than what your abilities allow you to do. Sometimes you try to do more than you should do, and you try to stay away from trying to do more than you should do. And it's learning yourself, knowing yourself, and trusting yourself and knowing you can do the job and just go out there and do the job. Now, there's a lot of ups and downs that come along with that, but that's life. You have to figure out a way to continue to do it. I think when guys struggle in certain places where the expectations are a little high, it may be because they don't expect that of themselves.
You're right about that. Listen, man, there's nobody that was happier when you got that ring, man. I'm telling you, man, I was elated. I was happy that you finally got your ring, man. I was like, man, I wish I could be there with you and in thoughts to, celebrate with you.
Well, and I appreciate that. And, a lot of the credit, not a lot of the credit, most of the credit goes to those kids that go between the lines.
They say that the credit goes to you.
I wish I was swinging a bat, catching ground balls, running the bases. I wasn't doing any of that. They were doing that. And, when you're in a position that we're in, that you have a group of kids that love to play the game, you're beholden to them. All you are is a guide. All you can do is lead them in the right direction. But it's like anything else. They say you can take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink.
Brother, listen, good luck for your time, and I look forward to you getting another ring.
Well, thank you so much. We're going to certainly fight hard for it. It's not going to be an easy fight, but anything that you earn isn't easy.
15 rounds fight.
That's right. And I hope to be standing. I'd rather them say that we didn't get it, but we were standing right next to the champion. That's because right. He knew he had a fight with a champion.
That's right. All right. Ron Washington.
All right, baby.
Good luck,
Thank
brother.
you.